Welcome to another episode of Talking Nerdy in the Bedroom with
Corey,
KJ,
and Mike.
Hey, we're all back together again. It's been like a month.
It's been nice.
It's been nice. Fuck you.
Seems like it was just yesterday.
Well, we had the episode, the special episode without Mike for fantasy football, and then we did a second episode about Always Sunny that just aired last week. And yeah, so Mike wasn't part of the last few weeks. But now we're in March. It's March 2nd. And we're actually coming up on like a year of doing this.
That sounds right.
Well, we did the pilot in April and it aired in May. So yeah, we're coming right up. But anyway, this episode, we're going to be talking about Ant-Man. Ant-Man 3 or Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, which I hate the name. I love Quantumania. I just think it should have just been called Quantumania because within the word Quantumania, there's Ant-Man.
Was it called
Ant-Man and the Wasp?
It was.
Which is the exact same thing. Like, so the first Ant-Man is Ant-Man. Second Ant-Man is Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's fine, because that's when they introduce her. And then the third one, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. But if you have
Ant-Man in your colon.
You won't believe where Ant-Man has to go.
Well, there was that whole theory of how he was supposed to kill Thanos. Was supposed to be up the butt.
Yeah.
And then explode.
Yeah.
They did ask.
That was how he killed Thanos or gave him a good time? I'm
both. I mean, both stopped.
I know. How strong is he of a Titan? He might just be able to, kind of pinch it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, so they asked Jonathan Majors. I think that's the guy that plays Kang.
It is, yes.
That what?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so they asked him, like, what did they think about that theory and would that work against Kang? And he said, no, it wouldn't work against Kang.
I don't know why. If anything, it would be more likely to work on Kang than it would Thanos, because Kang is not super strong.
Yeah, he is.
He's got powers.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
His tech makes him super strong, but him as himself is just a human.
His tech gives him buns of steel.
He probably has a force field on his team.
Right? He knows what Ant-Man is about.
Yeah.
He's got a little out-only sign on.
But no, so if you look at the word Quantumania, Ant-Man is in Quantumania. Like,
so, I don't know, what would you have wanted to been called? Just
Quantumania with ant and man in different colors.
Eh.
So it'd still be considered Ant-Man Quantumania.
You're just talking about the logo, you mean?
No, I mean, it just should be Ant-Man Quantumania, but for the logo, yes, just have it say Quantumania with ant and man in different colors.
But what about the Wasp?
She was an afterthought for most of this movie until the very end.
That's because you're sexist.
No, that's because she wasn't given much to do in this movie. I feel like this movie... Let's just dive into the movie. This movie
she also cut her hair,
wasn't
miserable.
As good as it should have been. This movie felt like it should have been a bigger movie. Like, it could have been multiple parts within this. We didn't focus on anything for very long. I didn't care about any of the characters except for Ant-Man, his daughter, and his daughter was only some of it, and some of the family dynamic in the first 10 minutes of the movie. But then after that, the family dynamic goes away. They use plot devices of the Wasp's mom, and I've already forgotten her name, but Michelle Pfeiffer's character, not...
Catwoman.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Bitch, just tell me that the Kang is there. And why did they have no problem at the end of the second Ant-Man going back into the quantum realm?
To be fair, she followed the script of most women, though. Oh, I really can't tell you. I don't want to talk about it.
Sexism.
I was going to say that's more towards that. This is lazy writing for me. But then,
it's realistic.
So there was no... In the second movie, at the end of it, before the blip happens... They go into the quantum realm. That's where Scott gets trapped. But she doesn't have any issue with him going into the quantum realm then. But then sending a signal to the quantum realm, then she has an issue in the following movie. 5 years later. Doesn't make any sense. It's annoying.
I mean, maybe the quantum realm is different in different locations?
But she didn't get taken to the quantum realm in her house.
That's true. That doesn't make any sense. You think it would, like, if you go subatomic, like, here...
It should be different than, like, at your house.
Right. And the space would be infinitesimally different. Like,
should be.
because you have a quantum realm all around the realm that you're in, all the way to the space where you disappear.
I think that's because we're thinking of the quantum realm as really, 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 really tiny in one area of space. My understanding from that movie was when you get to a certain part, it becomes its own universe, not in the sense that that universe inhabits an atom of space on this couch, but that it's like you've literally transformed, like,
into a different reality.
Reality, yeah.
So that could be it.
Yeah.
But if it's a different universe, like we exist on this side of the universe, something else exists on the other side of our universe, but there's still space between.
Yes.
Right.
Maybe.
So she went into the quantum realm on a nuke.
Yes.
Like very far away. But somehow she was able to like walk to the same quantum realm universe as where they are in the house.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like it's different universes and different spaces. I feel like when you get to a certain size, or when you enter the quantum realm, it's like going to a different realm or universe, but not in one specific spot. It's like, if they went to a different reality, for instance, a different
like a multiverse.
Yeah, like a multiverse, they could still travel wherever. It doesn't matter where they teleported to that multiverse. I'm saying, like, I don't think it's like in one specific finite spot.
So I agree with what you said, except for the multiverse part, because in Doctor Strange, with the multiverse, they basically end up in the exact same spot when they're going through different multiverses.
No, but what I mean, though, is like if you went from one multiverse to the other, it's not contained in that same spot, kind of thing. Like it's a whole universe.
So no matter
but they
where...
were contained. Like Doctor Strange went from sitting on this couch here to sitting in a couch that had like a decapitated building.
Right, but he could travel to Australia in that other universe too.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I meant.
Right,
I just meant that it's expansive.
My issue with it is that either the quantum realm is very small, and I don't mean like subatomically, but like not a big area, because she went to the quantum realm over here, but ended up at the same place over here that they end up going when they immediately come back.
Also, let's talk about the fact that at the end, when Thanos snaps his fingers and half the world goes away, they go away for 5 years, right? But in Infinity War, when Scott comes back, Ant-Man comes back, he says it's only been 5 hours. So, couple things. First, Michelle Pfeiffer's character basically shouldn't have aged and gotten old. Because she was gone for like 30 years.
Too, yeah.
And then she aged 30 years, yet for her, it should have only been like 30 hours in the quantum realm. So that didn't make any sense. And then in this movie, the same thing happened.
Scott's not in the quantum realm when he's lost. He's like in a state of like he's just constantly shrinking. Like he doesn't enter the quantum realm. That's what I'm saying. The quantum realm is outside time and space. That's why they banished Kang to it.
It is and it isn't.
That's literally why Kang said they banished him there, was because it's outside time and space.
Yes.
But you think in the second Ant-Man movie where he's going into the quantum realm, he didn't get there?
I don't know that he was going into the quantum realm.
He was. That was the whole point. They were going to get that stuff to save Ghost.
I get it. But what I'm saying is I don't think he ever got there then.
Okay, so you don't think he got there? Yeah. I don't know if they explain that or not. I'd have to go watch Infinity War again if he said, I got to the quantum realm again.
Yeah.
Because then I wouldn't know how he got like fully back. Because although he was in the quantum realm in the first movie and he got back because of Cassie and everything.
Maybe I don't know who the character is that plays Michelle Pfeiffer plays.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe
the original Wasp.
Part of the aging could have been of her dicking around with that time sphere.
Yeah, that's true.
It doesn't explain it.
Well, no, because when Kang crashes, she's old already. But that could have just been lack of them CGIing her.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Being ageist.
Yeah.
Or she was shrinking slowly over a long period of time and then finally gets to the quantum realm.
Well, we don't know that time didn't... So, we don't know that time didn't pass when they came back this time either.
We know like a day or two has passed.
You don't know that.
They
based
basically
on what?
show you what happened, and you don't think that her mom would be freaking out?
Maybe she is, but
Cassie's
we didn't
mom?
see it, did
It's like a day or two.
But you're just making an assumption.
I'm making an educated guess that
Okay, well, that's my
anybody
point.
would.
So we
Yeah,
don't.
so, like,
all
when
I
he
said
goes
is
to get-
we don't know.
We basically
When he goes
know.
to get a coffee, like the coffee guy was like, "Hey, welcome back today."
Yeah,
like,
so it's not like haven't seen you in a year.
he's
what
like a
the fuck?
regular. So
Well,
like,
he
it's,
could also be like, "Hey, that guy's an Avenger. He was gone 5 years the last time, so who knows?"
Well, no, but when he looked at him, because he said Spider-Man at first, and then he corrected himself the second time. You think he's gonna remember if a year went by? Fuck! I called him.
That's because
Spider-Man.
time passed and they found out Tom Holland was Spider-Man.
They haven't found out that Tom Holland is
Well,
Spider-Man.
they did, and then they forgot.
Oh yeah.
Because that was a great fucking storyline too.
I loved that third movie.
They're just so dumb.
What was dumb?
The premise, I love the movie, but the premise behind, hey, I need everybody to forget, and then in the middle of the spell, like, no, you got to add this person. You just fucking tell them again.
That I agree with. Yeah.
Instead of messing with it.
But I like the idea of because that happened, that all the people that knew his true identity were getting pulled into the universe. I like that add-on to it. But yes, I agree. Just fucking tell them again, explain the situation, or before. How do you not think to begin with, hey, I still want all these people to remember? Like, how do you not go, I need everybody to forget? Well, except my girlfriend, except my aunt, except my best friend, except for Happy.
Avengers.
Like, how do you, or the Avengers, like, how do you not have that already set to tell Doctor Strange about this?
he's also a teenage kid that has like no linear.
Yes.
Also, Doctor Strange going to sacrifice everybody for the one chance to, save everybody. Yet, Peter Parker, oh, you need everybody in the world to forget something? I'll do it for you, kid. Anything for you.
Well, what I will say about that is that does kind of go towards his character being an arrogant prick.
Yeah, but I think you're skipping over the second half of that. He's kind of a prick. I think he would tell Peter Parker,
Go fuck
dude,
yourself.
go
yeah.
fuck yourself. I'm not messing with time and reality just to make your life a little easier.
Yeah, so I think it should have been more of that, yes, but I think if he would have goaded him being like, oh, so you can't do it, and then him being like, well, you talked me into reverse psychology, I can do it, I'm a powerful
but he
wizard.
didn't do that.
I said if it would have been better if he would have goaded him.
So anyway, dumb premise.
Again, not dumb, just somewhat lazy writing.
Also, Ant-Man Quantumania, I liked right up until the point where Ant-Man's big and coming to beat up Kang, basically, and the dialogue was fucking atrocious.
So I loved the dialogue because hang on. Because I thought it was a diversion and it wasn't actually Scott. Like, I thought it was like a recording.
Loved it, so you realized it sucked.
Yes.
Okay.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
this is genius. It's a ploy to get everybody looking at that thing, but it's not actually Scott.
Right. I actually thought that for a second, too, because I was like, there's no way. That's so cheesy.
It's so
but
bad.
it really was.
Yeah, but because it was so cheesy, it felt like a very Scott thing to do, or Ant-Man. Because if it was a ploy, because it would make it seem like he's an idiot, let's go after him, and then he's like even smaller and he's doing something else. That's what I was expecting. And then nope, he was just
I was a
slamming
little
his
bummed
hands
they
around.
didn't have his friend there, the guy from Chips.
Yeah, so he was supposed to be in the movie, they said, but they wanted to get
Michael
into
Pena?
the
Yes, Michael Pena.
They wanted to get into the quantum realm quick. So that's why it's within 10 minutes we're in the quantum realm.
Should have brought him
And
with
it
him.
still wasn't even enough time to go over this whole rebellion
Or
thing.
even at the end when they're out, he's like, "Hey man, what have you been up to?"
Yeah, well, he could
Well, it
have
would've been-
narrated the parts that they had Ant-Man narrate.
Yeah, but I actually think it would have been better if, like Mike said at the end, if he would have been there, because in the first couple movies how Michael Pena talks,
Yeah.
which is hilarious. Scott should have done that to him and like telling him what happened in the quantum realm.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Like,
too.
I would have thought that was a nice little nod to him, and it would have been funny. So what did you guys think of the quantum realm itself? Like, because now we obviously got to see more of it. We saw a little bit in the first movie. We didn't see any of
It's
it in the
literally
second movie.
like Star Wars universe. Like crazy stuff, super futuristic weapons and tech. It's like
stormtroopers.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Although the robot things are not robots, I'm confused about that. The blue face things, like they're like androids, but they aren't.
Were they androids that are sentient?
I don't know. Like they get their ass kicked, and they're like, no, like they just say weird.
Roger.
Yeah, those are weird.
Yeah, that's again part of my issue. They don't explain any of these people. We don't spend enough time with them. No one dies of consequence except for one of those robot guys. Everybody else lives. Like, there's no stakes. And if any of those other side characters would have died, I wouldn't have cared either.
The big thing with the like hammer laser head dies.
Oh yeah, that thing was
that's
sweet.
one thing.
I thought it was like a lantern on his head.
That was the one robot guy that died.
Oh, I thought you were talking like the little robot guys.
No. I was talking about just him. He's the only quote unquote main side character that died, and it really didn't matter.
I like the holes guy.
Holes guy was
How
funny.
many holes do you have?
That's actually the voice of one of the guys from the first movie that's part of the crew.
Oh yeah.
With him, I don't trying to remember his name. The more whitish looking guy, curly hair, can't remember his name. But yeah, that's voiced by him. But yes, he was probably the best part of the other things in the Quantum Realm.
Your
Bill
only
Murray.
comic relief.
Bill Murray was pretty good. I wish we would have got more of him though.
Yeah.
Bill Murray's evil.
Bill Murray was evil. Yeah. So, what did you guys think of Kang?
He's alright. I never like King never really struck me as like a really exciting villain. It's just kind of boring. Like he travels through time. Like yeah.
You're dead to me. What did you think of Kang?
I feel like I thought he was a good villain. His dialogue is weird, but it makes it more unique, I guess, because he just seems like overly arrogant and like, but again, he just seems like another one of those villains that like a Bond villain. Like, I'm going to put you in this room with laser crocodiles and then I'm going to leave and hopefully they kill you. Like, just leaves shit up to chance. Like, they had the ship ready to go and then he like waits and does a speech and shit. Like, I don't know.
And you know, it's kind of dulls his character a bit for the fact that there's one of him in every universe. Like he's that guy. Yet when we're dealing with somebody like Thanos or Loki, they were the one and only. It's more intimidating when
they weren't the one and only.
I
though.
understand there were other universes,
Yeah.
but those other universes weren't coming into play in our storyline. Is what
Right,
I'm saying.
but Kang is
But that
such
was
a big
because
villain
of
that
the other Kang.
Kang is more like Agent Smith in The Matrix, where like, oh, now you're gonna have to fight 500 of them, but there's one that's the actual Agent Smith. That's the one you got to worry about. Like, it's just dumb.
I disagree with the dumbness. I love the idea that no matter basically what universe he's in, he is this big, powerful, godlike person that wants to basically rule over everything, and that includes every single branch on these multiverses.
I just don't understand how he couldn't win. Time
against
travel
them.
is such a stupid power for anybody to have, because, oh, the Avengers are going to fight me. Well, I'll just go back in time and fucking erase the Avengers.
Well, I mean, he murdered lots of Avengers.
I understand, but that's my point. So
He can't time travel now.
Well, I understand he can't now because his other versions of himself, but his other versions of himself could go kill everybody they wanted if they have the control of time.
They probably will, but part of the issues with these Kangs now is that the branchings of the multiverse just started when they killed Kang, but He Who Remains version of Kang in Loki season 1. Like, that's when the whole break started. So prior to that break, the one who remains is the one that basically was putting everything in a solid timeline. One timeline that doesn't branch off.
yeah,
If
making
anything
sure
branch,
all the other
he
Kangs
murders
aren't-
everybody. So in the past, before he did that, they murdered everybody. They murdered all different types of Avengers and everything else. So then this Kang, during that, it sounds like was sentenced or shoved or whatever into the quantum realm. And then has been there for God knows how long because time doesn't exist there.
Yeah.
So if we have that and then we're moving forward, that's why we haven't seen these Kangs in this universe, because the one who remains didn't want Kang in the universe.
I guess my only point is it's going to be a dumb, like, I don't know how the fight's going to work. When you're fighting a Kang who can actually time travel, it just seems stupid. Like, oh, Spider-Man's going to web him? Oh, I'll just go back in time and make Peter Parker never get bit by the spider.
You don't know how his time travel works, though, either. Like, it might be like a one and done kind of deal, or the other Kangs might be ganging, like working with people to stop him.
Could be. Because
they banished him already.
That's why I don't like time travel as a premise for superhero stuff, because it's usually pretty stupid.
Well, it's just
also
OP.
love Star Trek.
Yeah, right?
I don't love Star Trek.
He loves the whales. Stuff. We've talked about it how many times?
Yes.
Star Trek retconning itself.
But that's because Starfleet has a code when they travel back in time. Kang doesn't, so he'd do whatever he wants.
Well, that's the point of Kang. That's why he's a bad guy.
Oh, I get it, but that's my point. If you were a bad guy with the control of time, you'd be God, basically.
Yeah.
If you are in Starfleet, though, you know better because you have morals.
But he basically was a god, and then he got... They started the coalition of Kangs, whatever the hell they're called. The Kang Dynasty.
Scientology. And they took him down. Scientology took him down.
And so then because he wanted to rule over all the other Kangs, that's why they banished him. Like, to me,
at least that's time travel versus time travel. I guess what I'm saying is you're going to have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Spider-Man.
No, it's the Falcon and Captain America, thank you.
Oh, okay.
He has a shield now, sir.
Oh, that's all it takes, I guess. So you're going to have this regular guy in a suit with a shield, and Bucky Barnes, and Spider-Man, and who else is in the Avengers these days?
Wanda, Doctor Strange.
Wanda's not in...
She is and she is. It depends if they bring her back.
She's dead.
You've got Vision, the white,
I am,
white
however,
Vision.
excited for what I anticipate is going to be different versions of all the heroes from different worlds. So, like, I've seen a lot of rumor mill out there that's saying, like, the people who were in the running for the characters originally, like Tom Cruise was supposed to be Iron Man.
Yeah, but they were talking about him being in Multiverse of Madness, too, and it never happened.
I know, but I think Multiverse of Madness was a standoff movie, right?
Standalone.
And then this would be Avengers movie.
Right.
Like, so
Kang Dynasty and then Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I don't know who we see in the Kang Dynasty, though, unless
so you see
like
Loki at the very end, and he's very scared of Kang. It wouldn't surprise me if Loki uses the Time Bureau to bring a bunch of Avengers together to fight him.
Yeah, it definitely could be.
Like
Crocodile Loki. Just throw him in there. So I don't know. I'm interested to see how it happens. I don't really remember much of the storyline from the comics. I always liked the Thanos storyline.
All right, so how do we feel about MODOK in the movie?
Ugh.
So I
don't know anything about him other than the stuff that I've seen in a few comic books, and you never see him without his like mask thing on.
Yeah,
but is it actually supposed to be whatever the guy's name is?
I don't think it's supposed to be Yellow Jacket.
No,
it's that guy.
That's just this version, the MCU version of him.
But I will say he played Loki. I mean, MODOK, pretty much like I've seen other iterations of MODOK where like he's this murderous but kind of comical being who really just wants to be loved, kind of thing. And
I will also say he probably delivered one of the funniest couple lines in the entire movie about that. I've always thought of you as a brother.
Yeah.
I'm gonna die an Avenger.
That's what made it weird, though. Like, I love that as MODOK, like, if it was just standalone. But then when you go, this is the guy who played Yellow Jacket, this is the same character, doesn't make any sense.
Why not?
Because he would never say that.
Why wouldn't he?
The guy from the original Ant-Man movie?
Yeah, all he wanted was the love of Pym. Hank Pym. That's all he wanted.
But he hated Scott.
Yeah, I know, but that's part.
I always thought of you as a brother.
That's why it was so
stupid.
funny. That's why Scott's
it was funny.
Reaction to it was hilarious.
It was funny, but it 100% didn't make sense for that character from the beginning to there.
And you got to think how many years have been.
Yeah, true. He's been a fucking floating head for a while.
Very long time.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Oh, it was probably the funniest lines in the movie.
I didn't say it was funny. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They should have just made just have the same guy play him, but do a new. Just be like, it's not him.
They were just trying to tie it in.
I get it,
and that might not only be the only MODOK that we get either. That just might be the current version that we have, or there could be other ones.
They should have honestly just had the guy who voiced MODOK in the Hulu series done it. Patton Oswalt. He was great.
Yeah, but again, they're trying to tie it together.
Series? Yeah, it's really funny. You should watch it.
Is it called MODOK?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
Is it animated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's like it's more like an adult animated cartoon. Like it's kind of like the Harley Quinn one that HBO did, I guess.
A little less.
Well, yeah, less. Yeah. Offensive or graphic.
Hulu is a little bit different than HBO.
Yeah, just a tad.
One of them's owned
a lot
by
less
Disney.
floppy wieners in it. Not no floppy wieners, just less. Yeah,
that's right. All right, so what did we think about the Kang battling? Like when they fought Kang, the numerous times they fought Kang.
This is like one of the few times I think I'm okay with how that fight went because he didn't have all of his power. So he basically was just blasting him with energy weapons and stuff like that.
Well, he did have a lot of his power once he got his little stone back.
Although, you know what? I am confused about it because earlier in the movie, he's basically just like looks at Scott and Scott's floating up again, like slammed into the wall.
He has a thing on his arm that breaks when the time thing like explodes. You see like his armor.
So that's why. Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah,
so
his armor breaks off.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to say, he goes from basically being able to do whatever he wants to like, all I have is Iron Man blasts.
Yeah.
He has some sort of like telekinetic or whatever, like armor thing that he can do different things with.
See, so I love Jonathan Majors' performance in this, and I love the way that he talked, and I love the way that he basically, every time he was on screen, he commanded your attention. I did. It felt very ominous when he walked. That's one of the reasons why I kind of didn't exactly like the ending for him getting sucked into the thing. Now, obviously, unless they show you he died, he didn't die. And even when they show you he dies, they don't die. So there's a good chance this version of Kang comes back, which is good. I'd like for all the Kangs to, like during Kang Dynasty, I'd like the Avengers and everybody else to battle them, have their good moment, but then get annihilated by them. And then this Kang come back and just wreck house of all the Kangs, which then hopefully then sets up Secret Wars. Is what I would like to have happen. Because, as you said, how are they going to battle all these people that can manipulate time and everything else?
Haven't they confirmed now that we're going to see Hugh Jackman in that movie?
In which movie?
The one with I don't know.
Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty?
Yeah, one of those ones.
So nothing has been confirmed yet. No.
I thought we literally had it confirmed that him and Tobey Maguire were both coming back.
No, nothing has been confirmed yet. There's been a lot of rumors.
I know, but I thought Hugh Jackman.
No, the only thing confirmed for Hugh Jackman right now is Deadpool 3.
Well, right, I know that. And
that's going to be a direct correlation or direct reaction to Kang Dynasty? I think Kang Dynasty is supposed to come out first. Before Deadpool 3 comes out.
That's probably how he's coming back, and then he'll be... that's how he'll come back, so that he could be in Deadpool.
What do you mean, how he'll come back?
They'll bring him from another multiverse.
Well, possibly, or if it is the same... He did say it's going to be like a different version of the same Wolverine character that we've been getting in the Fox movies. But they also said that this is kind of the Old Man Logan storyline of the Logan movie happened so much further in the future.
Well, right, yeah.
Compared to what this is actually happening. So them doing anything now doesn't affect what happens in the Logan movies. Or Logan movie.
Yeah, well, we don't even know what universe that's in.
Correct. But if it's in, for whatever reason, this universe, it's so much later in time. So I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I'm excited for Deadpool and Wolverine to be together because I feel like that's going to be a funny dynamic.
I want to see Spider-Man and Deadpool more than even
Wolverine. I mean, at this point, I feel like we have to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Well, because now Disney owns Fox, so now we'll get them together.
I thought Sony owned the rights to Spider-Man, though.
They do, but every time they keep coming up with Marvel keeps throwing money at them and going, you guys put out terrible movies that make okay money.
I understand that Sony will agree to let them use the rights, considering that both times they've done that, or now 3 movies.
It's made over $1 billion.
Made a lot of money. But they don't have to.
I agree they don't have to. Unless Tom Holland goes in their office again and cries and goes, guys, we should do this. And they go, all right. Because that's what happened the last time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's weird that they don't have the rights to that specific character.
Well, a lot of Marvel stuff was getting sold off in the 60s, 70s, and 80s because Marvel wasn't making money compared to nowadays where it's just a license to print money. They were selling comics and they had some money coming in, but there was multiple times where they almost went like bankrupt. Yep. There are so many things. It's so weird when you think about how many franchises out there that if we think of right now, think of how big they are. Legos almost went out of business, which is crazy to think about because Legos was a toy that we all grew up with, but Legos almost went out of business. And part of it was because kids were getting older and the newer generation had phones and things like that. And no one was playing with Legos compared to what we used to do. And you got to think of how big this company is, how much money they need coming in. And then the Lego movie came out and everything went to the moon for the Legos. Like the amount of money they made like 10x at the minimum because of that. And it's crazy. So same thing with Marvel. When Blade came out, that was a huge get for them because everybody then fell in love with Marvel again, fell in love with the comics.
That's coming out too, right? There's another Blade coming out?
They pushed it, but it is supposed to be coming out, yes. But without Wesley Snipes. Yeah. So, not sure when it's supposed to come out. Like, it was sounding like it was going to be out this year or next, but then they've pushed it due to some issues with the actor and the writing. But they've also just delayed almost a bunch of TV shows. I think we were supposed to have like 5 TV shows this year, and now we're only going to get like 2, maybe 3, which I actually think is better. Instead of just them pumping out content, like I'd rather have quality over quantity. If you think at
what if we do neither?
What, you don't want quality or quantity?
I'm just saying what's going to happen. I'd say I don't want more. I'd rather have more quality and more quantity.
Yeah, but that's almost impossible when you think about it, unless you just had 1 billion people working for you that can all be as creative while also having one story that you're trying to merge into. And you also don't give some of these shows a chance to breathe if you just pump one out and then so WandaVision ended and 3 weeks later we got Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Falcon and the Winter Soldier ended, and 2 months later, we got Loki. Loki ended, and 2 or 3 months later, we got Hawkeye. Hawkeye ended, and then a couple months later, we got one of the other ones I don't remember.
I mean, I feel like that's what they're doing now on the regular, though.
But now they're not. They're stopping that. Like, we're only getting 2 this year.
Oh, really?
Like, we're supposed to be getting Secret Wars, which is, I think, next month. And then we're supposed to be getting... is it Ironheart later this year?
Ugh.
I think those are the 2 that we're getting.
That suit looks so
I thought we were getting, Secret Invasion, too. In, November.
No, the Secret Invasion that's what I meant, Secret Invasion, but that's coming out in, April. That's you're talking about Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting that in, April. That's the one.
And Loki.
Loki is the second one. It's not
Samuel
it's not
L.
Ironheart.
Jackson's
Ironheart
coming
got
back
pushed.
in Star Wars?
Huh?
Samuel L. Jackson's coming back in, was it in Mandalorian, I think?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought he's dead. So he's not dead.
Well, we never see him dead. Remember?
That's true.
He gets his arm cut off and launched out.
So we don't know. Is he going to be a Force ghost, though?
No, he's supposed to be back.
So, okay. If he's not dead, that'll also piss me off
because what was he doing this whole time?
Yeah,
hanging out.
Like,
screw this people.
Not part of the fucking rebellion at all. You're the last Jedi, the last. There is only one Skywalker. You got this kid that you've trained for like 8 minutes, but meanwhile you have one of the best sword fighters in the galaxy. It's just hanging out in exile.
Yeah.
Yoda's like, yeah, I'm just going on this planet.
He might have been one of the best sword fighters with his right hand, but who knows how... I mean, look at Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones.
He got pretty good with the other hand.
He got okay.
Got pretty good.
So did Luke. Luke lost the hand.
Yeah, but he didn't have to change hands. He just got a robot hand.
Yeah, got a robot hand.
I guess Mace could have gotten a robot hand.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
So, this is going to be a side note. And, Corey, you watched Bones, right?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay.
I did have somebody tell me once that I remind them of
Bones.
a character named Sweets or something.
So, it's funny. That's not what I'm going to bring up, but I'm actually going to talk about Sweets.
Okay.
He's the guy from Freaks and Geeks. I don't know if you ever watched Freaks and Geeks years ago.
Yeah. A little bit.
He wrote Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Okay.
It's the fact that this guy was on Freaks and Geeks, did nothing for 11 years, then had his directorial debut in that terrible vacation movie, the National Lampoon's Vacation, but with Ed Helms.
RV or whatever?
No, it's literally
it's just called
Vacation. Yeah.
But it's the National Lampoon.
Movie? He directed it.
Oh, good for him.
Or wrote it, and then movie. No, it's not.
It actually was a pretty funny movie.
Is that the one where they go to the casino?
No, that's
Vegas Vacation.
It's National Lampoon still,
yes.
But no, Chevy Chase or whatever?
Yes, that's Chevy Chase.
I didn't think that was a bad movie.
No. We're talking about...
It's a different movie.
It's a continuation / re-adaptation.
National Lampoon's has a ton of movies. So there's Christmas Vacation, European Vacation, Vegas Vacation. Then they have like Animal House is National Lampoon's. Van Wilder, that's right, and Bandcamp and all those. But then a more recent one that follows the Griswold family is Rusty Griswold, the son in Vegas Vacation, is the dad in just Vacation is what they called it.
It's not good.
I thought it was pretty funny. It's Christina Applegate's the wife, and then Ed Helms is the father, but Chris Hemsworth's in it too. And he plays like an ex-boyfriend of hers that invites them over. And he just like comes into their room and he's in boxer briefs. And he's just like, I just hope you guys are comfortable. And he puts his leg on his massive dick. He's like,
First thing that Corey mentions about this movie.
Yeah. It's just so
mentions
funny.
Nothing else. Yeah. He's like, Chris Helms was in it. I see his penis. I like it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, a lot of penis.
Yeah. And then the little brother, like, I don't know. There's a lot of it's fine.
There's a lot of penis.
There's a lot of penis. Go have a good time. Okay?
It'd be a good movie. Get a little penis.
Yeah.
Just swinging dick.
Well, we were already talking about Floppy Wiener when he was talking about HBO, and then he just jumps to Vacation, the first scene he talks about.
Can I help it that
it's actually
almost every movie and TV show nowadays has dick in it?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Mike and I haven't mentioned penises at all about something random.
Well,
and you're just
get your fill every Saturday, so why would you bring it up?
It's not just Saturday. We got Sundays too. Come on now.
Why? That's the day of rest.
No.
It's the Lord's Day.
It's the Lord's Day.
All right.
Thought you'd skip that one.
Back to Ant-Man. What did you guys think
about...
Ant-Man
goes up the guy's ass.
No. So what did you guys think about the closing...
explodes his penis.
Well, that's
the tick, or not...
God, you said the tick. And
the termite.
The termite, from the boys.
Yeah. That's what he should have done.
That's true. You think what I'm saying is disturbing. Let's go over the boys.
Although he did do something similar to that, but just way less graphic with Tony Stark in Civil War. Like he went into his suit and then was pulling things out.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But you're not going to be Kane the Conqueror if you ain't got no cock.
Well, I would call it Kang.
How funny would it have been if even as a
joke,
an Easter egg when he shrunk down to the quantum verse or whatever. Quantum realm. If you saw the Magic School Bus driving by, because they used to do that shit where they shrunk down and went in the body. So. Just see Miss Frizzle drive by in the distance in the Magic School Bus. This is the Quantum Realm, kids.
To be fair, there probably could be a reference to that somewhere.
It should be. Whenever he shrinks down, it should be a little school bus in the background.
So
or some tardigrades or something.
Yeah.
I really missed in this movie
Are you crying?
No.
KJ has taken off his glasses and is rubbing his eyes.
My
to
eyes
the magic
are
school bus. You brought it up.
killing me right now. And I don't know why.
Emotion.
Miss Frizzle.
What is this sensation I feel? It's like hunger, but not.
It's like hunger with tears.
Anyway, what the fuck was I saying?
Nobody cares.
That's so hurtful.
Shrinking.
You were talking about Miss Frizzle.
No, it's shrinking. Right. So I missed, like, in the first and second movie, what was really cool was to see how small Scott would get and then how big Scott would get.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are the ones that have the dirty minds here.
Okay, so what everyone is missing is he's actually using these hand motions.
Was that an after credit scene I missed?
But no, so Scott Lang as Ant-Man would get like 60-story tall, and then he'd get super tiny and like ride ants. You don't really get any of that. I said he gets small and he rode an ant. How is that funny?
Ants.
That's not that funny.
He got really small so he could ride ants.
That's so dumb. The first one, sure, I'll give you. That was just you guys laughing at nothing.
Right in the thorax.
But anyway, you don't have that with this movie. You don't have that type of scale. And I felt like that was definitely missing in this movie. You don't really get to see that. And that was in the first movie where he's super tiny and he's in the bathtub when Penna's trying to take a shower. He's going to deal with all the water and everything going on. That's a great scene. When he's trying to learn how to deal with all the ants and he's super small, that's a great scene. When he has to get super big in the airport in Civil War, great scene. And you don't really have any of those in this movie.
I felt like this movie was more about Kang than it was Ant-Man.
Yeah.
It was an introduction of the next big villain, and so this is the movie.
And he had to be somewhere. I don't feel like the only place that he could have been was in the quantum realm. The only person that can go to the quantum realm is Ant-Man. So
Kang didn't have to be in the quantum realm. They just did it for the story.
Right.
Like, because we didn't know that until this movie that he had got sent there by the rest of the gang.
Right, but again, that's a pretty good way to introduce him as a villain.
You're introducing him and then you're quote-unquote killing him.
But, I mean, they do have the ants at the very end. I mean,
which I did like. I thought that was cool. And
1,000 years of ant evolution.
Yeah.
So my problem about that is ants have been on Earth for millions of years.
Well, right, but he had given them this, what was it? Some kind of smart device or something?
He did something with them. That was the specific thing they talked about. Yeah.
They had a chip on their head.
I think so. I think it was a chip, but the chip made them more intelligent, so then give them enough time and they evolved from that point kind of thing. Basically, I think he said it was something like ants always listen to the queen, and so they're not very smart on their own. They just follow direction. And what he did is he gave them basically free will to like think for themselves. And so as they became able to think for themselves, they, certain ones evolved, just like natural selection.
A colony and ships.
And then they basically also needed a way to deal with the massive army that Kang had accumulated over all this time, which was a quadrillion ants that are very smart.
1 million ants, man.
1 million ants.
Yeah. So, that I didn't really necessarily mind that, but I just minded. It wasn't the fact that you get to see the ants that I had an issue with. I just liked the Scott going up in size, down in size, and then learning all the stuff that you don't get that with this movie. And I agree with you. It's more of a Kang movie, which I don't know if it should have been. Like, could we have done something more in the quantum realm without Kang with a different villain? Where it's more focused on Ant-Man. I don't know. I was enjoying the family dynamic in the first 10 minutes to deal with Cassie, to deal with Hank, to deal with Janet, to deal with the Wasp character that now I can't remember her actual name in the movie.
Hope Van Dyne.
Hope, yeah. I like all their dynamics. I was on board for, and I wanted to actually kind of see where that went. And then we went right in the quantum realm. Everybody's separated. No, I can't tell you what's going on. Oh, look, there's a rebellion. we're the only ones who can help the rebellion. Okay. Like, I've seen this movie 1,000 times.
Yep.
That's the part that I didn't like. And if you're going to do
still
that...
one of the best movies in this... Is this a new phase?
Phase 4?
I think this is...
No, this is just start of Phase 5.
5?
Still better than most of the movies in Phase 4.
Minus Spider-Man.
Minus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would agree.
Yep.
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 Yep. Okay.
They're redoing that show, by the way.
King of the Hill?
Yeah. I think it's coming out on Hulu. But yeah, they're redoing it.
Propane and propane accessories.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Isn't it the other way?
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Kick somebody in the crotch.
Yeah. Ooh, fucking Hank when he gets kicked. Now you know what at first you were like, what?
I was like, what the fuck sound are you making?
And then you can picture it
I was exactly picturing it. I'm really hoping that anybody listening to this podcast, Dean or Nick, that they hear that and have seen that episode.
Oh, yeah.
God
so
damn it, Bobby.
So they have the actual image in their head. All right, so do we think that we get a 4th Ant-Man movie eventually?
I don't know. Depends if they have
not.
another villain to introduce.
Well, I mean, in the first movie, you only get...
I feel like you only get 3. You got Iron Man 3, and that was it.
whatchamacallit just had 4. Thor had 4.
Yeah, and they shouldn't have. They made that mistake.
To be fair, yeah, the third one was really good. Really good. Yeah, that's a super high note to end on. But I'll also say in Thor 3, Ragnarok, he loses his home. Spider-Man 3, he loses his...
virginity.
I'm pretty sure that's been gone. But he loses Aunt May. Then
and he loses everyone in the entire
Yeah, but I mean,
world.
like, Aunt May dies. Yes, at the very end, does he have to then just go, okay, now I'm just going to do my own thing? Yes.
Literally by himself for the rest of forever.
And then Iron Man 3, he gives up some of the stuff, and his house blows up, and he deals with all that.
Plot. He gives up a good plot in that movie.
Well, I liked Iron Man 3 minus the whole...
So dumb.
It's not Mandarin. Is it Mandarin?
It's supposed to be.
The Mandarin.
But you're right, it's not.
Right, it's not. I did like that they eventually tied that into with Shang-Chi, though.
Yeah.
Like, I like that they at least did something a little bit better, and they brought back Ben Kingsley. Although I loved Ben Kingsley as that character if he wasn't playing a character.
Yeah.
Like, I thought his performance as that person you see on film was great, and then to see that he was just an actor was kind of annoying. Yeah.
That's why that movie sucked.
See, I still like the movie.
Well,
Especially...
there actually is a real Mandalorian. Or not Mandalorian.
I mean, there might
Mandarin.
be a Mandalorian.
Well, no, they gave us that guy. Guy Pearce is supposed to be the Mandarin.
Well,
in
that's...
the MCU.
No, there's a real Mandarin. Like,
Yeah,
well, that's
Guy
from
Pearce.
Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Well, what
and
do
he
you
gets
mean?
pissed and
What do you mean?
kidnaps
That's
him.
the main villain in Shang-Chi.
He's not the Mandarin.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
is.
is.
And he let them do it. Go watch Shang-Chi.
I guess
there's
I
a
forgot
short.
It,
Yeah.
I love Shang-Chi.
There's
Yeah,
a
it's
short
great.
where the
there is
guy
a
who
short.
plays the Mandarin, the actor,
Ben
gets,
Kingsley.
Yeah, gets kidnapped from jail and then enslaved at this
that's
guy's
why-
house.
You're right.
Yeah.
And that's the 10 Rings. I should have
Yeah.
known that. Yeah.
He's
I don't
the
know why I was
actual
blanking on that.
Mandarin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I like that they eventually did that, but
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley...
Still stupid plot for Iron Man 3.
Right, they just had to correct it way after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to say this, but Iron Man 2 is better than Iron Man 3, and Iron Man 2 also
Iron Man
sucks.
2 is nowhere near Iron Man 3.
It is, but
It's
it's
not.
okay.
Iron Man 2 is one of the worst movies they've done. It's
I don't
so
know.
bad.
I didn't love either one of them.
But 2 was better.
No, not even remotely.
Well, me and you disagree. Now for the tie break.
He doesn't know.
I think both of the quote unquote bad guys are terrible.
Correct. Yeah.
Like what the hell? The guy that can breathe fire.
Yeah. Stupid.
That's dumb. And then the other guy is ridiculously smart and just builds whips.
Yeah. Also pretty dumb.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, he doesn't even have a fucking suit. He has like a chest plate and whips.
2 just had more redeemable qualities to me. Like I liked when they introduced Hamlin.
Hammer?
Hammer? Is that what it is?
Isn't he introduced in the first one?
What?
He is, yeah. Jason Hammer's in the first one.
Yeah.
Sure, but his story in the second one is more...
Well, yeah, they kept going with it, yes.
Yeah.
Well, you don't really know of Hammer Industries in the first one until he's like, this suit isn't going anywhere. Like, Hammer Industries is like a century behind him, and it just shows like the suit with the guy getting his
that's
back
the second
broken.
Movie.
Is it in the second one?
Yeah,
that's
the
the second
beginning
one.
of
But
the
I'm pretty
second
sure
one.
they mention Hammer.
Yeah, they mention
in the
Hammer
first.
Industries in the
I
first
don't remember.
one.
Yeah, I'm
but
pretty sure.
Regardless, I like his story in the second one.
The story of the second one's just, it's not a good story.
Eh.
Because it's mostly the main story, too.
I mean, the guy wants revenge because the Starks stole his family's research. I mean...
I don't even consider that the main story. The main story
that's literally what drives the villain in that movie.
Yeah.
That villain, but I don't even consider him the real villain in
Who's
that.
the villain?
Yeah,
Hammer.
No.
Hammer's the one who gets him out and does all that thing. It's bad.
Ivan is the...
Ivan's
No,
the villain.
You
Yeah.
can't even call him a villain. He was
he
awful.
is.
He's awful.
But he would have been a much better villain if he'd have spent the whole time building another cool suit.
Well, that's the thing, though. He didn't because he just took control of the army suits that they made.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that was a good
He
thing.
didn't take control of them. He made them.
I know, but he made them so that he would have control over them.
Okay, but then why spend the time to make his
whips.
whip suit?
Well, he did. He made
He's
those
into S&M.
Well, first off, he made those on his own with limited resources and attacked Stark. Then the army brought him in, from jail to make their suits for Hammer Industries. So then he made the different suits for that, and that's how Hammer comes to him in jail and gets him out of jail to help.
Yeah,
build
I
those
mean,
suits.
I feel like it would have been more redeemable if he would have made a juggernaut looking suit.
Yeah, it would have made sense if he did it at the end. The only thing I could say is he was under surveillance when he was building these things, so that's probably why he couldn't. What he did do is he snuck code into the programming that would give him control.
It was dumb.
Yeah, it's much better when you have a bunch of people that for some reason glow and breathe fire.
Yeah, that is...
Everything up until that moment, yes.
That one was dumb.
What else in that movie?
His dealing with his depression and PTSD, his whole interaction with the kid after he crash lands, his hubris getting in the way and them destroying his house, and him putting his love of his life in jeopardy by doing that.
Do we ever
It's phenomenal.
Do we ever find out how Pepper goes back to normal?
They never say she does. She just doesn't.
She says
combust.
in a
That's
couple of
because
weeks you'll
even
be
the
like...
MCU wants to forget how awful that movie was, and they just don't address it.
Because you see her later in Avengers.
Yeah.
When she's in the tower.
They just don't care. They're like, that movie sucked. We'll move on from it. It was no Iron Man 2.
And I'll also say it's one of those movies where if somebody gets the power at the last second, and then they instantly know how to use that power, and they beat the other person that's had it forever.
Yeah.
Fucking, that part's stupid. The switch with the Mandarin was stupid. It was supposed to be the girl.
Continue telling me about all the stupid things in this phenomenal movie.
It was supposed to be the girl that was the bad guy too. It wasn't supposed to be Guy Pearce as the bad guy. It was supposed to be the other girl that's
The one that
with
he
Guy
ditches.
Pearce. Yeah.
Stupid.
It was supposed to be her as the bad guy, but the studio didn't think a female could hold a villain title.
Never been married.
Dum 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 dum.
All right. So where do we not think we see Ant-Man again until Kang Dynasty?
I don't know.
Wow, thanks, Corey.
Doubt.
Thanks for just, joining this conversation.
Well, we're not going to see another Ant-Man movie, but I don't know what other movie he'd be in. I don't remember the slate off the top of my mind. I'm sure you have it in front of you on the computer.
Don't have the slate in front of me.
So what do you think?
I
Where
think
would you see him?
I don't think we see him until Kang Dynasty.
Me neither, because I don't know of any movie that he would be in.
Well,
now,
you
if there was
could
a
put him
Civil
in
War-
any of them.
If there was a Civil War-esque movie in between, I'd say maybe, but I don't think he fits in any of the other movies.
Again,
that
I think all of the ones might make a cameo in Loki. It wouldn't surprise me.
in the
TV show?
I
Is
mean,
there a
it's
second season?
possible, but I don't think
I feel like the Loki show is going to be him going through the multiverse trying to find people that will stand up to Kang. Because you got to build the army eventually.
I guess you might see him in Secret Invasion if he did like a cameo.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be more focused on Samuel. And
yes, Secret
there's
Invasion,
also-
I don't think has any of the Avengers in it. If I read the thing on it
Secret
correctly.
Invasion in the comic, I mean, they take over like as Captain America and all the heroes. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, that's not going to go to that level.
I was
though.
gonna say you could have a cameo with any of the characters and have the what are they? Not the Kree, the
Krull.
Krull.
So
could
did
have
you
the
know
Krull.
that the theory going around is that like Fury has been gone since like Avengers 2 or even before Avengers 2 and has been like a Krull for a very long time?
Since
besides for-
Avengers 2?
Yeah, since like Ultron.
Well, I know he was in the Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because they confirm that and show
Right,
that.
Right.
But I
right.
mean, they're talking about it even before. And it's because of some of the clips that they've released for the show that it looks like he's been gone for even longer than you suspect that he's been
probably
gone.
because he's in a galaxy far, far away being Mace Windu. Not dead.
I love that he asked for a purple lightsaber and they gave it to him.
Yeah.
Like, that's just... Because it's supposed to be, what is it? Red, you're a bad guy. Green, you're a good guy. Blue is something...
You're a good guy.
Yeah, but no, there was something that...
People used to say if you had a green, it meant you were a master, and blue, you meant you were
No,
a
I mean
Padawan.
George Lucas himself had said what certain ones are, and there was never supposed to be a purple one, and then he went to George Lucas and asked him if he could have a purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
And because he was asking George, like, what can we do with the lightsaber? And he's like, well, red is bad, this is good.
They got
red-
yellow
red-
too. The yellow is like the Sentinels.
The red is
the Jedi
supposed
Guard.
to be bad because to
You're
make a
corrupting-
red crystal, you take a kyber crystal and then you pour your hatred into it and it turns red. But
Yeah.
you have to, like, as a Sith, be evil enough to make
How the
it red.
fuck do you turn it purple?
You pour your swagger into it. And it's just,
That sounds like Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Every time it goes up, just bounce.
You just go, this motherfucker. It's like, oh, purple.
I wanted to check something because it made me think of it.
Angry but still good.
There is actually a lot. I can't remember. There is a way the purple lightsaber was formed. I can't remember how they.
His is like loyal justice or something like that.
No, but I'm talking about like how they actually.
Do you know how many movies he's been in?
47.
Samuel L. Jackson. Yeah, I know it's more. I'm trying to think.
74.
162. 370.
Wait, a little lower
Oh,
than that.
well, 162 way up. 370. Oh, that's crazy.
No, it's 173.
Oh, I was pretty damn
Yeah,
close.
but I said
162.
up.
Yeah.
I didn't say
But
way
you
up.
did the same up for me and Tim.
Well, yeah, it's just meaning
Well,
up.
you play hot and cold.
Just
You're
means
just like
up.
hot. You don't say hotter. You fucking bitch.
That's
Learn
a lot
to-
of movies.
learn to-
That
play
is a
games.
shit ton of movies. It's crazy how many things he's been in.
And he also gets money from like Capital One.
Oh, yeah.
Motherfucker must be rich.
Yeah. And he's 74 years old.
Is he 70?
Yeah. Been in the lot, man. Been in the lot. Stupid bugs.
He's been in every one of
Quentin Tarantino?
except 2, I think. If I remember
I'm
right.
probably right.
He's not an Old Country for Old Men.
That's not Quentin Tarantino.
Thought it was.
No. That's something brothers or Cohen brothers? Or no, not Cohen.
What movie?
No Country for Old Men.
Yeah, that's not Tarantino.
Oh.
Yeah, it's the Cohen brothers. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But he, yeah.
He's in
Reservoir
Hateful
Dogs,
Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Yeah. I had liked that movie.
Yeah, it was okay.
It's slow.
It's definitely a more slow movie than I was kind of expecting. But all right, let's wrap up Ant-Man here. So, final thoughts on the movie. Start with Mike because Corey's a bitch.
I thought it was good. I give it 7.
Really, that high? I was surprised.
6.5. I mean, it didn't blow me away, but like visually, it looked cool. The story was okay. The villain was decent. Good acting. Like there wasn't parts of the movie that I hated. Like I could follow it along just fine. It looked good. The story was fine. There wasn't like very like lull parts where I'm just like fucking shoot me.
All right, what about you, Corey?
7.5.
Yeah,
God, that's very high for you guys. I figured
That's
you
a
guys
C.
would be more critical.
that
That's
is a solid
C.
C. Yeah,
I still felt like you guys would be more critical of this movie.
I liked it more than the other ones.
I mean, I'd give you a 5 out of 10. So
I take that. That's average.
Oh, if that's the case, I give this
That
movie
is
an
average.
8.
The grading curve.
So yeah, for me, it's lower than that. This movie's probably a 5.5 to 6.
Oh,
And it's
That's what you gave
what did I give what?
the 4th fucking Thor movie. I think you gave a higher score for Thor movie.
yeah.
I don't think I
I
gave
think you gave it like a 6.5.
I also want you to think about it when you're talking about a movie.
So hang on there real quick. You give a score and I go, wow, that's higher than I thought. Wow, that's higher than I thought. And you guys are both like, no, let's think about this. Let's hear what you said and you should change your number.
I thought you were going to say 6.5 maybe, but like 5.5.
5.5 to 6, yeah.
Like Sharknado would be higher.
Yeah, Sharknado's like a 3.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I feel like you're being over. Like, this movie was, whether you liked it or not, had a full story and everything.
Not a good one.
Okay. Well.
The only good story here that you got was Kang. That's it. The family dynamic goes out the window in the first 10 minutes, so you don't get any of that. There's no progression there at all. Cassie is interesting for a few minutes and then becomes not interesting. Hope is barely around until the very end to matter. Pym, same thing, is not really doing anything. The mom, Janet, is literally awful because won't fucking just tell them what's wrong because it would have changed
All right,
half
fine,
the movie.
Fine. I don't care. You give it a 5.5.
Oh, can I? Thank you
That's
for your permission.
No,
I'm so glad to have it. It makes me feel better. I'm all warm and cozy now.
We rescind your permission.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you have my permission to die.
I don't think I needed that.
Granted.
But yeah, it should have been better. Kang was great. I just wish it would have been something a little bit different, and I wish it would have been more Ant-Man-esque rather than
You wish
all about
Ant-Man
Kang.
was in Ant-Man?
I wish Ant-Man was more Ant-Man-ish in Ant-Man. Yes. Yeah. So that's going to do it for this week of the podcast. Next week, we will be talking about Hogwarts Legacy. We've all been playing it. It's had some controversy around it, but we're going to get into all that next week.